Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow feelings of tension, stress, worry to leave your body in that outward breath, enabling you to go deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to hold on to a thought. I want you to hold on to a thought that's been holding you back for a while. Perhaps the thought is that you have to think of other people before yourself. Hold on to that thought. And then imagine on the outside is an alternative thought. The thought is that you can't pour from an empty cup. And that means that you need to put yourself first. Because if you don't put yourself first, how can you possibly have any resources to think about anyone else? I want you to imagine that as you breathe in, you're breathing in a feeling of resourcefulness that represents this new belief that you are worthy, you are capable, and it's okay to put yourself first. Imagine you're breathing in that resource, that emotion, and as you exhale, imagine that any feelings of unworthiness, that you have to somehow put other people before your needs, that is leaving your body. So simply by breathing in and breathing out, think of it as an exchange. You're swapping one feeling for a new feeling, simply by breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in this feeling that you are worthy, feeling that you are capable, and feeling that you deserve. That's right. And doesn't it feel good to just allow yourself to relax and feel better? Because as you do, you can notice that you're letting go of old feelings, old emotions, old versions of you that refuse to believe that it was okay to put yourself first. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine that you're flying on a plane to a distant land. A beautiful place. And I want you to imagine you're in a different country, brimming with confidence. But I want you to imagine that in this place, you're able to find somewhere comfortable, perhaps a chair, in a beautiful place in this beautiful land. Rest on that chair, close your eyes on that chair, and create an image of you as a child. Create an image of you as a child where perhaps you were told that you weren't good enough, that you were told there's certain things you would never be able to do, that you didn't deserve certain things. I want you to see a childlike version of you that somehow seems broken, distressed. A version of you, perhaps maybe 7, 8, 9 or 10 years old, that has started to believe that they are not valuable, they are not worthy. And if you can picture a younger version of you at around that age looking that way, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to imagine you're in the room with that little girl. And I want you to tell this little girl that she is worthy. That you understand what she's gone through and you understand what she's been told. But I want you to let this little girl know that she was told these things to make her easier to control. She was told these things to make her more compliant, to meet the needs of the people around her. I want you to tell this little girl that she doesn't need to settle, that she's capable. She's capable of amazing things. I want you to tell this little girl that she deserves the very best. I want you to tell this little girl that she has more possibilities than even she realizes. I want you to give her a hug. Tell her you understand. You understand that sometimes it's easier to just say yes because it avoids the hassle, avoids the conflict, avoids the consequences. Tell this little girl that you know that she deeply cares about other people and that she's been telling herself that of course she has to think about other people because that's the kind, compassionate and thoughtful thing to do. But I want you to give her an empty cup. And then I want you to hold another empty cup. And I want you to ask her to fill your empty cup with her empty cup. And notice that confused face. Of course she can't fill yours because she has nothing left to give. Tell her that this is what happens when you only put other people's interests first. You've given everything of yourself away and there is nothing left for you. Then give her a full cup and ask her to fill your empty cup. And she notices how easy it is to do that. And tell her that putting herself first is not selfish. It's necessary. Because generosity means that her cup is overfilling, so she has plenty to give to others. Whereas if she has an empty cup, even if she is kind, compassionate and thoughtful, she has nothing left to give. And if she accepts and understands, let me know by nodding your head. Tell her it doesn't have to be time, doesn't have to be money, doesn't have to be attention. But she needs to make sure that she is fully charged, replenished. And the way that she can recharge her own batteries is through self-love. True generosity is giving to others because you have a desire to help other people. That is love. But if you can't pour from an empty cup, doesn't it mean that she has to be overflowing with self-love in order to share that love with anyone else. That there is a fine line between being someone that's generous and a martyr. A martyr is someone that is willing to take from themselves that is detrimental to them for the benefit of others. And being a martyr is temporary. Being generous can go on forever. I want you to imagine giving her a glowing ball of energy that represents self-love, self-belief. See her taking that glowing ball of energy and holding it to her heart. And I want you to tell her that you love her unconditionally. You don't love her only if she does what you say. You don't love her only if she'll do what you ask her to do. You don't love her only if she agrees with your view of the world. You love her unconditionally. And notice that smile on her face as she accepts that. Because this is self-love. If you can give love to a part of you, a part that you've lost connection with, that version of you benefits, but so does every other part. Give this part a hug and tell her that you believe in her and that she doesn't need to settle because she is worthy and capable of great things. And then say goodbye and find yourself on that chair in that amazing land, far, far away from home. Close your eyes again on that comfortable chair and then imagine that you're seeing a future version of you, perhaps just 6 or 12 months in the future. And I want you to see that you are doing things for yourself. You're pursuing what you want. You're putting yourself first. Maybe you're seeing yourself buying or reading books. See yourself taking yourself for a weekend away. See yourself reconnecting with family members you haven't seen for a long time. See yourself traveling, so much travel. Sometimes overseas, and sometimes locally. But notice that when you see yourself traveling, you're also seeing yourself perhaps looking for a new home, a new place to live. Checking the windows of real estate agents. Looking at different towns and imagining a future where you could live in that town. As you accept that nothing is off limits, nothing is forbidden, nothing is not okay, and that you can do things without a reason, because the reason is simply that you just want to do those things. You owe no explanation to anyone. It's your life. So observe a future version of you living that life. Living the life that you want, where you truly believe you are worthy, you are capable, and you deserve to live a life on your terms, based on your desires and the life that you want. And when you can see that future, let me know by nodding your head. And then make it bigger, brighter, three-dimensional, full color. Step into that movie. Step into that future version of you and feel how good it feels to feel worthy, capable, and deserving of a life on your terms. And if people ask you to do something, you accept that it's your choice, whether you do that or not. If there's an expectation that you should or have to do something, you simply won't want to do it. You won't want to do anything unless it's genuinely helping and genuinely appreciated. There is a growing sense of assertiveness, confidence, self-belief and self-love, that you're willing to do things just to see if you like them. And when you find those things you like, you'll do them more often. Because sometimes self-love is utilizing those love languages from yourself to yourself. There is nothing to stop you spending quality time with yourself. There is nothing stopping you making thoughtful gestures from yourself to yourself. Nothing stopping you giving yourself gifts, telling yourself nice things, doing things that show true consideration. And the more self-love you give yourself, the more love you have to give to anyone else. Feel how good it feels to live life on your terms in a way that you are worthy, capable, and deserving. Feeling that it's okay to do nice things for yourself and enjoying a future on your terms. And then I want you to return to the present, taking all those wonderful thoughts, feelings, and emotions with you. As you accept that all of this is just thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, dreams within dreams, take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, get a sense that all parts are firmly in the present, listening to my voice. As very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, optimistic, filled with a feeling of worthiness and self-love, with a desire to take these ideas and turn them into reality, to do things for yourself just because you can. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.